What's up everybody, this is Cornbeaner. So after much delay on my part, but I really have been putting in some time, I'm ready to give you guys my review for Skullgirls for the PS3. All comments, criticisms, praises will only go towards the PS3 version of the game, as I did not play one round for the Xbox 360. So without further ado, let's get started. Skullgirls is a game that takes people back to a simpler time. There's only 8 characters in this game. While some might look at that as a step back, each one of these characters is very unique in their own way. They all have different play styles, they all have their own unique moves, their own unique combos, and their own unique way of handling. There are no 2 characters in this game that feel alike. They're all different, they're all great, and I believe that adds depth to this game. Now when it comes to the single player, all 8 characters are in this game have a story. 6 of them will be unlocked from the beginning. The story for Valentine and Double will be locked. So you must pass a campaign for the 6 unlocked stories first before gaining access to Valentine's and Double stories. The single player campaign is handled by comic style stills with text. So the game comes to the market at $15, so you are going to see some, not shortcuts, but cutbacks in production. You know, it does cost a lot of money to get, you know, voice actings and editors and stuff like that. So the fact that it's handled this way is fine. But believe me, this game has all the production value of a $60 blockbuster title. The graphics are simply beautiful. Everything is done with extreme precision. The animation in this game is wonderful. Everything screams quality in this game. And there's another thing that has to be praised when it comes to Reverge Labs and the development that they put into this game. Training mode in Skullgirls is also a little different. There are 2 options within the training mode, I guess, category itself. You have your tutorial. Now this is not handled like other fighting game tutorials where you would pick a character and you would have 10 or 15 obscene combos that you probably would never use in a real game situation. This tutorial teaches you the basics of basics when it comes to it. If you ever wonder what an OTG hit was, if you wonder what hit confirmation was, overhead blocks, defense, and all this other, I guess, little lingo and nuances that come with the fighting games, this will be the place to learn. This is really where the veterans can hone their skills and reaffirm what they already know, and this is where the beginner can pretty much get their first toes wet with everything that the fighting game community has to offer. So once you're done with the single player campaign and you're done with all the training stuff, as you know, it's ready to get down to the online, which is the meat and potatoes of any fighting game that's been released in the last 5 years. And I'm gonna say this straight out, this is the best online fighting game that will release, I believe, this generation. The netcode for Skullgirls is GGPO. I'm gonna put a link to this down below, because if I get into all the techno babble of what GGPO actually does, I'm gonna lose a lot in translation. One of the few things I do not like about the online is that I can't open a new lobby that's ranked. I have to randomly pick my opponent, and it matches you up with the matchmaking system that this has. But once you connect to your opponent, you don't get bars, you get an actual ping number. Now for a lot of you who only play consoles, this doesn't mean anything to you. But for me, where I play, you know, like Quake and StarCraft 1 and other PC games that, you know, the lobbies had, you know, like ping numbers, this is fantastic. I actually get to see how good the connection is with my opponent. I've gotten connection ping numbers as low as 8 all the way up to 200. And in all honesty, from my personal experience, 90% of the games between 8 and 200, there's a very, very small difference. Yes, you will feel some lag in the higher numbers, or you may feel some sort of, I guess I'm gonna say, heaviness to your executions, but this networking, this netcode is so great when it comes to it. The only time I really experience any type of superficial lag or really bad lag in this game is an opponent of mine's roll with a team of 3, and it seems to clear itself out once me and my opponent got to a 1v1 situation. So the fact that between 8 and 200 there's very little as far as discernible lag just speaks miles and miles beyond what Reverge actually did with this game. Skullgirls, it's not perfect. Unfortunately for me, this game has a style kind of like the X-Men versus Street Fighter games, the Marvel vs. 2 style games. And while I do like this style of games, and I do see the fun in them, the one thing I don't like is you're gonna see 30, 40, 50, 60 hit combos in this. And the only problem that I see with this is that either you or your opponent who get caught up in these combos will have no control over your character for a good 5 to 10 seconds. It's just one of those things that I respect the people who can land these 70 hit combos, but at the same time, the fact that I lose control for over 10 seconds, or the possibility of 10 seconds for a fight, is not fun to me. And I kind of think it probably goes vice versa, when I landed my few 40 hit combos or 50 hit combos on my opponent, I'm pretty sure it's not fun for them. And it's just one of those things that I wish I had more of a hard knockdown type style game, similar to maybe Street Fighter 4 with the fast-paced action of a Marvel vs. Capcom 2. But the game is what the game is, and it still is fantastic. It's one of those things that you're going to have to look out for if you're not really seasoned to those type of games. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to be overly negative about this game. The game is beautiful. Online is fantastic. The production value is that you would see, or even top that of what you would see on some of the more modern $60 quote-unquote blockbuster games. And I'm going to repeat this one more time. This will be the fighting game of this generation. For $15 with the production value, with the network code, this is by far the best fighting game that you will see this generation. And the fact that it came from a little small company for $15 is great. If you're going to support any type of fighting game, support this game. You will not be sorry. Even if you don't take this game super seriously, it's still a fun game to have with your friends for parties when you guys are drunk and just want to mess around. This is the perfect game for that. I'm going to give this game a 4.5 out of 5. While there were a few nitpicky things I did not like, none of it really took away from the fun that I did have with this game. Big kudos to Reverge Labs, Autumn Games, and Konami for collaborating and bringing this game to us for $15. I'm going to give it a solid recommend, 4.5 out of 5. I hope this review has been somewhat helpful, and I'll see you guys next time. This has been Cornbeaner. Bye.